Off top in 1972, two NFL franchises were traded for one another. Play music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
Welcome to the Domonique Foxworth Show, presented by Allstate. Throw your hands up. All right, Bill. Who are the two franchises that were traded for one another? Charlie, do you know? Anybody know? It's actually, they call it a franchise trade.
I have a guess.
But technically, it's an owner trade because the teams didn't move, the players didn't move, the owners just switched cities. Does anybody know? Guesses?
I have a guess.
What's your guess?
The Bengals for the Browns.
Oh, what's your guess?
I'm guessing the Colts were involved. Was it Colts?
Yeah. Robert Irsay.
That seems like something that Irsays would do.
It was Robert Irsay and Carol Rosenblum, who was the owner of the LA Rams. Nailed it. See, we give Bill full credit, even though he only got half of it.
Do you think that was crazier than hiring Jeff Saturday, your good friend Jeff Saturday, as Colts head coach?
I thought that was a fantastic decision. He pulled off the upset. Remember that?
Oh, this is
great
the
move.
It
was so fun. It was
for
great.
1 week.
You know what was the best part of that? It was Jeff Saturday benefiting from something, and I didn't have to complain about it because we were friends. Like, I feel like if I didn't know Jeff Saturday, I'd rip that decision. But it was nice to be like, hey, that's a weird decision. I'm on board because that's my dog.
Yeah.
It was fun. Man, good times.
That was hilarious.
He won. He knocked off
Josh McDaniels.
He knocked off
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, he knocked off Josh McDaniels.
The Raiders, yeah.
Yeah, his first game. And then he was like competitive in the other games, right? It wasn't that bad.
No, you took it too far.
I will not stand for any Saturday slander. Man was a phenomenal head coach. He stepped in and helped out that franchise in their time of need. All the success that they're having now is from the foundation that Jeff Saturday set.
Anthony Richardson.
Which got them Daniel Jones.
Nice. Well done.
Which got them a Super Bowl window.
That's fair.
Congratulations, Jeff Saturday. They better give my man a ring.
All right, let's talk about let's go through the slate this week because there were some really interesting games and results. And I think one that I think is actually the most interesting, even though parts of it felt like putrid to watch, was the Broncos handing the Eagles their first loss of the season. Midway through this game, the Eagles are up 17-3. It felt like they had it in hand and they were going to put behind them some of the talk of receivers not getting the ball enough, offensive struggles, because they were peppering targets to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. But then you look up and there's Saquon Barkley's not going on the ground. The Broncos come all the way back. The Broncos D-line is in the backfield a lot as that game was going. And I just have a larger question for you guys. And Bill, I want your opinion on this first. Why can't the Eagles offense have any balance?
Because they can't run the ball. That was the cornerstone of this team when it's good. It was the cornerstone of this team last year when they were phenomenal on offense. And I do think there's concerns about the offensive coordinator, concerns about the offensive line, concerns about, Saquon Barkley and how sustainable what we saw from him last year was. But they don't have to have the Saquon Barkley from 2024 to be good running the football. If they don't have to have one of the best running back seasons in NFL history, they don't have to necessarily get Jalen Hurts involved in the design run game. And it's very clear they are not leaning on him as part of the design run game this year, especially compared to what they did in years past. But what was the run pass split in the second half of this game?
One designed run, 23 passes.
That
definitely felt.
That's insane, right? That is you have a lead.
Yes.
It's not like this was the Rams game where they were trailing in the second half. You had a lead for the vast majority of the second half. You have Saquon Barkley, who was the best player in football last year, literally the best player according to other NFL players on their top 100 list. And you don't run the ball at all? Even if you had been having success throwing the football, okay, whatever, keep throwing it, who cares? But when you're not moving the ball and you are throwing it that often, last year's team, they didn't care about the box being stacked. They didn't care about the looks they were facing. They felt so confident they could run the ball in any situation because they had a great offensive line and they had that dude in the backfield and they had Jalen Hurts to lean on when people were loading up and just taking Saquon and saying, we're going to let Jalen Hurts beat us in the run game. And this year, they don't have either of those things. And very clearly, they don't have the confidence that they can run the football.
And it also, like, the amount of passes did kind of feel sarcastic.
Yes.
You know,
We'll show you.
It was like it was a sarcastic amount of throws, which is unusual for a team like you mentioned that used to feel so confident. And I think felt that confident a couple weeks ago. Like, they felt that confident, even though the run game wasn't working. It was like, this is who we are. This is what we're gonna do, and we're going to continue to win. So I think on a micro level, we can pick apart the things that they did in this game, and we could also do it for what they did in last game and almost every game so far this season, at least offensively and some defensively. But I don't think that matters nearly as much as I think that all their games, most of their games this year have kind of been the same.
Yeah.
They just happen to win the other ones. And this entire time it feels like some level of vindication, even in this game where their passing game performed a little bit better than it's been performing. It didn't come through when they absolutely needed it. But what it came down to was some penalties on the final drive that
The last few
and some
drives.
non-calls that went against them. Yeah, and some calls and non-calls that went against them.
All three went against them.
Right.
Sure.
I don't mean to break that. I don't mean to bring that up to give them an excuse. I mean to say that this is what we've been saying when everyone is yelling like, but we're winning.
Right.
The point we're making is you're good enough not to put yourself in a position. So I would agree with them that pass interference, that unnecessary roughness.
illegal shifts
I agree.
on Saquon.
The intentional. Yeah, illegal shift, right? The intentional grounding call that they decided to pick up, like
picked
all
up
those,
on
I
opponents,
agree with what I assume Eagles fans are complaining about. However, what I don't understand is the same thing is true for their last games. It's like block punts, block field goals. It's like these things that you can't rely on. And then we finally had a game where the luck kind of didn't bounce in their direction, and the formula to win a Super Bowl can't be that we're going to win a bunch of close games, especially when they're as talented as they are. But the problem is, I don't think they know how to fix it, because this was an attempt at fixing it. Like, we're going to get aggressive. We're going to blow their out in the second half. We're going to air it out. And it didn't quite work
We
out.
saw a team rely on that formula all the way to the Super Bowl last year, the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they faced an Eagles team
Right.
that had been blowing people out for the vast majority of the year, and they themselves got their kicked in the Super Bowl. That, I think, is the difference to me, is that it's not like the Eagles have been sitting here for years saying, well, they have a couple games here and there, but it's not like they were sitting in games in the fourth quarter last year and saying, well, like, yeah, we're going to get a block kick here. We're going to get a penalty in our favor there. They were blowing teams away. And now they have been hanging on for dear life or desperately trying to cling their way back into games in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And that is not the same version of this team we saw last year.
And there's also like this air, and I mentioned how it felt like their offense was sarcastic, a sarcastic amount of passes. It feels like there's like an air of contention,
Yes.
which is like, I don't want to speculate from the outside of the locker room, but a lot of the things that are
no one-
happening are
none of
things
us would
that
ever
I don't think
speculate
you need
from
to
the
speculate.
outside.
I don't. I say I don't mean to while I'm actually doing it.
Hold
so,
on, but
hold
like,
on.
can we-
Rewind.
Yeah, and also,
Rewind.
are we even speculating at this point with the sound bites we've had and the reports? So, like, obviously, Diana Rossini reported this morning that there's discontent from Devontae Smith and AJ Brown about the passes that about their role in the offense. We had a sound bite from Devontae Smith earlier this week where he more or less said that they should be getting the ball more. AJ Brown tweeted the Bible verse about that. Then after the game, where he got overthrown on the seam route and I guess pulled up, but he was overthrown by like 8 yards. They asked him, he's like, that's just a flat out miss. It's like, I don't even think we can see we're speculating contention. Saquon Barkley had a legitimate quote. Let me read you this Saquon Barkley quote about this if you want to say that we're speculating. I don't really know what you want. If I touch the ball too much, sometimes we're not throwing it enough. If we throw it too much and I only have 9 touches, I'm not in the business of what are we doing enough. I'm in the business of winning football games. We didn't win the football game. With 9 touches, we had the opportunity to win the football game still. We weren't detailed enough. Too many mistakes, too many penalties. That's pointed from your 3 best skill position players on offense.
I don't know. I mean, Jahan Dotson might have been their best offensive player in this game. It felt like for stretches. I like the reality is, if AJ Brown is not getting the ball enough and they're thriving and Saquon's playing awesome, then who cares? Like, AJ Brown's just being AJ Brown. It doesn't matter because they're winning. But there's no formula they found that works. There's been nothing that's been a consistent success for them, even when they've had stretches, like the second half of the Rams game where they were really good throwing the football. It's not like they came out the next week and were good throwing the football again. They were still struggling the week after and still had a lot of inconsistency in the game this week against the Broncos. And so it doesn't feel like, and I talked about this a little bit with the Chiefs earlier this year, they have nothing they can fall back on. There's nothing that's like their core strength right now in offense. Nothing they have that they can say, okay, like when everything else sucks, this is the thing we can rely upon. And for the Chiefs, the way they got out of that was getting their good wide receivers back, getting the Xavier Worthy back. That made them a much better team, and playing the Ravens JV team on defense. The Eagles, admittedly, playing against a good Broncos defense, had nothing they could fall back on this game. There was no concept they stuck with. There was nothing they consistently hit over and over again for big plays besides going after Riley Moss, which every other team in the NFL does. There's nothing happening here that makes those star players, those star playmakers transcendent. Like those guys are bailing the offense out. The offense is doing nothing to make their lives easier and put them in better situations to succeed.
So, Bill, can I ask? I want to ask you guys both.
First of all, Riley Moss is my guy. I won't stand for this slander. People going after me. He stands strong most of the time. He had a rough night.
He has a lot of rough nights.
He had a rough game. It's a cornerback, man. It just had a rough one. Man. Get off my man, Riley.
Dominique, I can sense your personal concerns there as the other cornerback across from a Hall of Famer on the Denver Broncos. I know you know what that experience is like.
Oh, I remember what it was like to be oppressed in such a fashion. And Riley and we both share what it means to be disenfranchised. Like we are similar in that vein. So I'm going to stand up for my man, Riley Moss, being the corner opposite a future Hall of Famer. It's tough out there, Riley. Stay strong, brother.
His two favorite players, Riley Moss and Ladd McConkey.
Oh,
we'll get
Ladarius. Oh, my man Larry Darius jumped over somebody to score a touchdown, but we'll get to that later.
You got called back.
Yeah, I mean, it counts in my heart.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But so I do want to ask you both this because I think I know, Bill, you said like what's going to change for them. Obviously, the low hanging fruit of that would be if in theory the offensive line got healthier, Dickerson got right, and Lane Johnson was healthier, and they ran the ball better. But beyond that, like if you were.
I'm sorry. It's just like the question that you're asking, that you're setting up, feels like you're putting Bill in a corner.
I'm putting both of you guys.
Oh, no. You said Bill.
I said.
Finish putting my man Bill in the corner.
Bill.
No.
How would you fix the Eagles offense?
Fix it, Bill.
And I can't say fix the offensive line because Charlie, you said you can't bring that up in the answer.
You can't. Yeah. You can't say replace the offensive line, improve the blocking, and run the ball.
Get healthy.
Yeah, you can't do those things. So
if they get healthiher, they're going to run the ball better.
Be better?
Fix it.
Don't play the Broncos? Are those good answers? Here's my honest answer.
Yeah.
Number one,
bad hosting, bad job by me.
Whatever constraints you put on yourself, you can't go with anymore. This offense has not been consistently effective for 5 weeks now. And I'm not saying it's going to be ineffective the rest of the year, that they're not going to get better. But what I am saying is whatever you're doing as a constraint does not work. So I think the thing you have to be willing to do, and it sucks because it means you're risking your most important player most likely getting injured, is Jalen Hurts quarterback run game. I think you have to bring that back into the offense, and that you have to hope opens up more opportunities for Saquon Barkley, because I don't think they have the dominant offensive line they had last year. I don't think they have a consistent thing they can rely upon. That's the one thing they have not been doing that I think you start with is just, you don't have to do it every single play. Don't have to do it 15 times between the tackles, but just maybe on the next game, maybe 2 or 3, just design Jalen Hurts runs, design keepers early in the game, give the opposing team something to think about, and then use that to get Saquon going and commit. How am I the guy saying commit to the run at this point? What has life brought us that I'm the analytics and I'm like, you gotta run the football. But you gotta run the football. That's what this team is not going to be good if they can't run the football. So lean into the run, lean into more Jalen Hurts design runs.
I respect about Bill and his ilk. Well, maybe not his ilk, but just Bill. Bill, I mean, you recognize that it's not necessarily about EPA sometimes. Put your hand in the dirt, Bill. I like it. Outman the guy across from you. You're not going to outmath him. We're going to outman him. I like it.
Outman him and then talk about all the EPA you gained as he's in the dirt. Just brag.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. No, I'm glad you answered it that way. That feels like a more reasonable answer than I was going to come up with, because
I would like to take it back. Good hosting, because we got to another lane. Yeah. Rather than just saying, get healthy, Lane.
I thought it was good hosting from the start.
Patted himself on the back.
Yeah, you threw a jump ball to a 50-50 ball to a great player, and he figured it out. But I don't have as
Jalen Hurts should do that to AJ Brown.
Fair. I don't have as eloquent an answer or as thoughtful an answer as Bill Barnwell because I don't know what they are good at. And I think my idea would be to pick what you're good at and focus on that, but they aren't really good at anything consistently right now. And it sounds ridiculous because they're doing fine. They're effective. They have a ton of talent. But I do think that the idea of trying to get the ball, to spread the ball around, does feel like it feels like a different version of the constraints that they put on their offense before, where it's like, we have to design plays to get people the ball. No, figure out what you can do that works. And that's like the basis of any game plan is like, we have an advantage here. We're going to attack where our advantage is until they compromise something else in their defense in order to stop where we have an advantage. And then from there, we attack where they have compromised themselves. Like, it's a stair-step process, but you have to be good at something before you can do that. They have to be afraid of you doing something before you can do it.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. I need to apologize. While Domonique was talking, I came up with a better answer. How did the Eagles fix their defense last year? They added a bunch of players, but what's the other move they made to fix their defense before last season? They hired Vic Fangio, who was the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. They got to trade for Mike McDaniel and make him the offensive coordinator of this offense.
Oh,
is that not?
This man's on fire.
Is that not how you do it? Mike McDaniel. Dolphins aren't going to need him much longer. I can tell you that much from watching them against the Panthers today. Wouldn't Eagles fans be excited if they get Mike McDaniel in the building to fix the offense in midseason?
It's genius.
That's actually a great idea.
It is. I mean, I think
I'm
pretty sure Jalen Hurts can execute.
That's my favorite coach trait I've come up with since arguing that the Bills should hire Steve Spagnuolo as their head coach, so he can't torment Josh Allen late in games.
Yeah, I think that's genius too. I think the show's done. Bill just fixed everybody. We don't need to move on. I mean, we don't need to do anything else. But I actually don't know what else they could do other than.
It's tough that you're like, hire the guy who just lost to Bryce Young.
Well, you're not hiring him to be the head coach.
You hired Vic Fangio.
Can you
run out of Miami?
Hold up. I don't think that the marriage of Sirianni. Can you imagine what Mike McDaniel is going to feel like when he has to report to Nick Sirianni? Like, I feel like Mike McDaniel.
He's just vaping on the sideline with Nick Sirianni. I think he's stomping around trying to flick off fans.
I think he fancies himself like a smart guy, like a
Domonique Foxworth,
a savant of football.
What did Rex Ryan call him? McGenius?
Yeah.
Genius boy?
Can you imagine Genius boy, McGenius being in there and Nick Sirianni's trying to flip off the fans and he's like talking about motions and shifts and passes with his glasses on and Sirianni's just stomping around like a brute.
Yeah, I mean, we had Matt Patricia there who was like, I'm a rocket scientist. That worked out great, didn't it?
Yeah, that did not.
So we
fixed the Eagles, guys.
Yeah, should we talk about the Broncos?
Yes, of course we're talking about the Broncos.
This is like a statement win.
Yes.
So I do want to. This is a really impressive fourth quarter, particularly by Bo Nix, who, Domonique, before this on our Thursday show, you said that you thought they had an equivalent or better passing game than the Eagles did, and he was 9 for 10, 126 yards and a touchdown on 3 scoring drives in the fourth quarter. Feels like a statement win for a team. Their defense obviously shut down the Eagles offense after going down 17-3. But did this game definitively change how you feel about this Broncos team?
No. I wish that I had like something more like profound to say about them, but I think the Broncos, they're a team that is super talented on defense and have an offense that runs the ball well, but the passing attack I think is fickle because it's designed around getting Knicks out the pocket and play actioning and getting him in positions. And when he's accurate, it works. So, like, I think the ceiling for this team is pretty high because their defense can keep all games close. But I think generally they're like a slightly above average team that could potentially go on a run. And, like, I think they're good enough to beat anybody in the league, but they also are not, like, definitively better than any of the top teams to me.
Here's how they're different for me now. I have perfect concept if I'm the Broncos and Bo Nix because they won outside of the Carson Wentz game last year, which I am not counting on principle. They won 1 game last year against the playoff team. And when Bo Nix played good defenses in competitive games where they fell behind, he was terrible. He could not get them back into games against good defenses. Yeah. He did that. He did it on the road against a defense we all think is really good, where he had been, and I don't want to be mean, but he was terrible through 3.25 quarters of this game. And then he was really good those final few drives of this game. He was making plays. It was not like, him just throwing screens and then just getting a bunch of yards after the catch. He made throws downfield and hit them for big plays in meaningful moments. He has not done that before consistently against a good defense in a game where they've been trailing. He can do that now. So doesn't mean he's going to do it every week, but at least I can say, okay, I've seen him do it once. And I can believe it is in the range of possibilities for Bo Nix versus the guy who I saw coming into this game as a major liability in those exact moments.
I guess your point is fair because you hadn't seen him do it before, but I don't think you thought he couldn't.
Oh, no,
and
I do not think he could.
Seeing it, yeah.
I don't agree.
Oh, really?
No, I thought it was almost an impossibility.
Well, then,
and now I think it is possible.
Especially against a good defense.
Was there anything about Bo Nix in the first 3 quarters of this game that made you think they were actually going to turn this around in the fourth quarter?
No.
I think they're going to get blown out.
Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, the defense was able to keep it close. But yeah, I wasn't watching this game thinking, oh, Bo Nix is going to bring him back. I thought that they were going to lose this game and we were going to have another week of conversation about how the Eagles' offense is not all that impressive, but they still find a way to win.
Actually, that's not how I felt. When they went up 17-0, I was like, oh,
it's gonna be.
This is going to be the week where it's like the Eagles figured everything out. This will be fine. They're going to score. It'll be like a 31-7 game.
I guess I'm thinking about towards the end of the game.
Towards the end. Oh, yeah.
It started to get tight. I was like, Bo Nix isn't necessarily going to figure this out. We're going to have a week where I'm going to be saying the same thing. I'll be saying the same thing that I was saying last week. Like, come on, guys, you don't need to keep it this close.
There was a moment when I was like, yeah, they're not gonna get this 2-point conversion. It's gonna be a 17-16 win.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
We're gonna be thinking the exact same thing.
I didn't think that decision was like that monumental.
No,
I felt like the commentator crew made it feel like it was a huge deal. Which I think it was 7.5 left, and they decided to go for 2 rather than kick the tying extra point. It made a lot of sense to me, considering, especially if you miss it, that the Eagles are going to go and try to sit on it and give it back to you with a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. Like, I thought that was the best thing you could possibly do.
There's more games for us to talk about.
We all agree.
100%. Yeah, more games. All right, next game. I thought this game was incredible. The Bucs beat the Seahawks in a thriller. As 38-35 was another game where Baker somehow pulls one out of his keister right at the end.
Wasn't it the 2021 Panthers, the 2020 Panthers, the Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold Panthers? Where
we got the iconic photo of Baker playing scout team defensive end in a practice. So when you left this game, did you learn more about Baker or the Seahawks defense?
I'm not going to let you disparage the Seahawks defense. I mean, I think it's about Baker, especially so far this season. And there were plays in this game. I think all of us are probably a little hesitant to elevate Baker to like top tier of the league type of quarterback stuff. But there were plays in this game where I think we always talk about the differentiating factor for like the top guys is, can you consistently like play above the coaching and the situation and just make happen? Like, Baker did that a bunch of times in this game, and he's done it through the course of these early games. They're playing a lot of close games, which obviously puts a limit on how great this team is, but they're pulling them out with a quarterback that seems to be able to elevate the team, which is a weird thing at this point in someone's career to feel like there's like some new thing that is unlocked without the drawbacks, without the major drawbacks. I guess he threw an interception last week but it was a tip ball situation. Yeah. But like without a bunch of
they're down.
Yeah, without a bunch of the major drawbacks, he's been able to make these plays a little more consistently than I think he ever has and than I expected.
Yeah, and like Baker's now done this with 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years. He didn't have Mike Evans in this game. Chris Godwin's clearly not 100%. They didn't have Bucky Irving. Their run game was very inconsistent, if not straight up bad in this game for the vast majority of the contest. All the excuses we would make about Baker Mayfield is, oh, that explains why he's doing this. How can you make any of them at this point after several years? Like, are there really that many guys? And again, last time I brought this up, it turned into somehow me trashing Patrick Mahomes, which was not good hosting, Charlie Kravitz. Like how?
He's like, hand up. I don't remember it, but I'm sure I did something bad.
Sorry.
How many guys? Many guys in the fourth quarter? A few minutes left, tie game. They got the ball. How many more quarterbacks do you have more confidence in than Baker Mayfield? Like, it feels like that is the situation where he elevates up. He's going to make that guy miss as a scrambler. He's going to find an open guy. And he's done that without his best receiver, with multiple coordinators, without a run game. Like, he's the one shouldering more of the workload in those moments and succeeding and thriving despite it.
I think there are only 4 that I can think of that I'd rather have than Baker.
Oh, man, you didn't open the list box. You know this about Charlie, that Charlie has
That's
running
me
lists of all types
being
of stupid
a good
stuff.
host, setting up Charlie for a list.
Yes. Mahomes,
Sure.
Nobody wants your list.
Allen.
Yeah, nobody wants your list.
Stafford,
Okay. All right.
Jaden Daniels. Carry on.
Marcus Mariota didn't make it.
Then Baker.
no.
No,
No
definitely
Mariota.
not.
I mean, Sam Darnold was really impressive. In this
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Like this,
Until the end.
both of these quarterbacks, I think, are a couple of wannabe Daniel Joneses over there is what they are. Daniel Jones, the next best thing. We'll get to
what
that
have we
later.
come to here on this show? I mean, this felt like a heavyweight fight, right? And I think the difference is the Seahawks were at home, and the Seahawks, they didn't have Devin Witherspoon in this game, but they're supposed to have, and they have had against other teams this year, a really, really impressive defense. The Bucs defense is not on Seattle's level. I think the Bucs would even tell you that. But for Baker to do this on the road in a place where it's supposed to be tough to win, even though their record has not actually been good at home, it's been much better on the road. And to do that against that caliber of defense, where they're supposed to have all these stuff to light you up and all these looks that, are going to be able to attack the weaknesses in your protection, to over and over and over again find Emeka Ibuka inexplicably wide open for huge gains. That's great quarterback play.
Always open, that guy. I don't care what the internet says.
Is that
we
not
saw-
the lesson
we're-
of 2025? Is just, if you see an Ohio State wide receiver in the first round, take him. Do not let him pass. Do not let him go somewhere else. Take that dude and do not worry about it.
Please don't open the door. You're opening the door for one of Charlie's favorite topics.
This is a text I sent Domonique. It's like, how did they not win every national championship with Olave, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison
And-
Jr., Emeka Ibuka, and
I'll
JSN,
flip it for you. How did Washington almost win a national
and
title
Jameson Williams,
with Michael Penix, Jalen Polk,
Jalen Polk.
Jalen McMillan, Roma Dunze, and then Ryan Gruber got fired after 1 year.
Dude is good.
It was fine, but after Ryan Gruber got fired after 1 year, that was the most impressive bad list of players and coaches I can imagine. Look at the NFL.
That's why we're all NFL
Disappointing.
fans and not college
Yes.
football fans.
yes, very fair.
That's the exact reason.
Very fair.
That's also why Ryan Day's not going to get an NFL coaching job.
Oh, gosh. And so Charlie went into telling me about Alabama, great receiving cores, and fortunately we didn't make it into Miami rosters, which is where our text conversation was headed straight to Miami rosters, one of Charlie's favorite topics. Riley Moss is different, man. Riley Moss is we have journeyman black quarterbacks now. So Riley Moss feels like that to me as a starting white
Riley
corner.
Moss is
It's
on a journey. Unfortunately, he's
it's-
just in the same place over and over again every week, and everyone knows that.
I'm
That's why
gonna
they keep
stop.
throwing at him.
How many times I got to tell you? I will not stand for this Riley Moss slander. It's my guy. Leave him alone. Seahawks are gonna be fine now. I don't know. I still believe in that
Yeah,
team.
so do I, yeah.
We talk about this a bunch. How deep it feels like the NFC is, which is a lot of really good teams over there who we used to say didn't have the top level quarterback play, but I don't know. Baker first round.
Do you feel like the Seahawks are the best team in the
number
NFC
one
West?
overall pick. I do. I did before this weekend. I think I still do. I mean, the 49ers out there pulling off magic tricks with a lot of
Spoken mirrors.
backup level players is impressive, but I don't know. Of the teams that are in there that I feel like I can rely on. So the Rams, obviously, it's a different thing, but I feel like where the Rams are weak is a little concerning for me on the cornerback spot. So yeah, I like the Seahawks defense, and I like what they're doing offensively because Sam Darnold's balling. So I still think they are.
Charlie?
Yeah. And that's my preseason pick, so I think I'm just being biased in that spot.
I'm biased towards the Rams because of Stafford.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, I think he's played as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Just like we talked about Baker, it's I feel like over the course of the season, Allen, Mahomes, Baker, Stafford, and Dak have been the top.
There it
five
is.
guys.
Wasn't that
Can we take a 20-second to talk about all the Daks?
Ooh.
All the Daks are balling.
Yeah.
So you remember the preseason quarterback
I sure
tiers, and there is a tier of quarterbacks that
Who did
Charlie
I call top Dak? Baker Mayfield.
that
That he was the top Dak.
Charlie called them the Daks.
Yeah.
And it feels like the Daks have elevated, they all moved together.
It's a Dak movement.
All the Daks moved up together. It's not that they jumped tiers. They took their tier.
Together.
It was like, come on, bros. We're going up here.
To people who didn't listen to that episode, the Daks were clearly second tier quarterbacks who, if you watch the tape, football guys that guy's awesome. The Dak Prescott thing. And yeah, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, I believe were the three Daks.
Yeah.
And they've elevated their Dakness. They've moved together in unison.
I feel like Sam Darnold hopped on the Dak train.
He might be a Dak.
He's a Dak now. Congratulations. Welcome to the Dak
I've
club.
got one more question for you about this game, and we can move on. Was it more impressive the Seahawks found the right moment to move on from Russell Wilson and promote Geno Smith, or more impressive they found the right moment to move on from Geno Smith and get Sam Darnold? Speaking of people that film people,
I brought this up on Thursday, Bill. Like their GM foresight, even like moving on for Pete Carroll for Mike McDonald at that time, like they get out at the perfect time on all these things.
I think the Geno move is more impressive, honestly, because he just started playing well. It was like we found our guy.
Yeah.
Moving on from Geno is slightly more impressive than the Russell move, I think. They got trade stuff where they got like compensated for the Russell trade. It was like an easier trade. They just let Geno walk away. It's different.
I just checked where Sam Darnold was in my tiers.
Mm-hmm.
Very proud of him. He's been upgraded from the missionary position tier that he was in with Geno Smith and Tua Tagovailoa. He's now a Dak. Congrats, Sam Darnold. Welcome to the Daks.
A lunatic, man. All right, well, let's go from the fun to the shellacking.
Yeah, the Texans shellacked the Ravens 44-10. This is honestly, I don't know how you guys felt watching this. We talked about this game all last week where Domonique was like, I think the Texans are going to win. Like the Ravens are this is so ugly without Lamar. And I was like, this isn't how this game is going to go. Like the Ravens have the organizational stability, the institution there. They'll end up winning like this really ugly game, like 17-9 when the Texans kick 3 field goals and have a bunch of weird turnovers. Boy, was I wrong, because it was 44-10. It was not a game for a second, and it felt like, I'll just ask it, does it feel like the Ravens season is over? Because that's what it felt like watching the game.
Yeah, I don't want to be hyperbolic. I think it probably felt that way in that moment.
Yes.
They have another game that I assume Lamar is not going to play in.
Mm-hmm. So this is a long shot. Outside chance, sorry. The exact wording was outside shot to play in it from Jay Glazer.
And then there's a bye, and then maybe they got some easier games and they might be able to go on a run. The problem with declaring their season over or not over is this team, as we talked about before the season, Super Bowl or bust.
Yes.
So from that perspective, this is not a Super Bowl contending team. Even when they start getting guys back, I don't see this team pulling it all together. They have bigger questions, I think, depending on how they finish this season, bigger questions about decisions that they're going to make in the organization and whether Lamar comes back or not. Obviously, they'll win more games with Lamar there, but this is not a championship level team right now, and I don't see them turning it around.
They were 1 and 2.5 with Lamar earlier this year. They had most of their dudes on defense week 1 and allowed 41 points to the Buffalo Bills in that game. Like, even before all the injuries, this team has been a problem. Here's why, though, I can't say their season is over, because Domonique alluded to their schedule after the bye. Do you know who the Ravens play after the bye, Charlie and Domonique? The Bears, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, and the Bengals. And the Steelers, and the Bengals again. Like, Cooper Rush might be able to win a couple of those games. And I don't think Cooper Rush looked good today, but if they can get a couple of guys back, and the Steelers, not exactly a team that I'm scared about at the top of the AFC North. Right. Like, do they have that path to number 1 seed and being the best team in the conference? No, absolutely not. That is just off the table for them now. But could they sneak in as like a 4 seed, just like they did when they won the Super Bowl?
4 seed?
If they win they'd be the 4 seed.
They win the division. Yeah. They could sneak in as a 4th seed and win the division if they win the division. I just have a hard time imagining how they are going to beat a couple of those top level teams in the AFC. But I think what a turn this season made for them from like just before like the midway through the 4th quarter of that first game. We were like, same old Ravens. They're going to just bulldoze everybody. Look out, number 1 seed. They went from that to now we're like, is the season over?
Yeah, they're 1 and 4.
I know. I'm not. I recognize it now. The shocking part is not where we are. It's just where we were. It wasn't like where we were before the season started. We saw them against a top level contender, and we're thinking that they were going to be one of those. I don't know. 13-win, 12-win teams.
They do every year.
Okay. And then the same thing they do every year. And then they weren't.
After this game, John Harbaugh came out and basically defended Zach Gore. And we don't know the exact split of how the play calling works. And frankly, Zach Gore is not responsible for
defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator. I don't think anyone's going to look good with, they have guys coming off the international pathway program playing for them right now. They have rookie free agents. It is rough. And I don't think if they had the best defensive coordinator, I don't think if they had Vic Fangio, they were not going to be a great defense. But do you make a change at coordinator just so you have something to say, okay, maybe we get like a dead cat bounce from this and we get some kind of spark? Like, is there anything you can do, or you just stay the course?
Well, I mean, last year they brought in Dean Pease and things all of a sudden got a lot better. But Dean is still there and things are not great. So maybe they bring in maybe they bring in another consultant type coach or another coach to help give that little boost. But I don't.
Who's the time management guy that they brought in for Nathaniel?
Jerry Rosberg?
He was the special teams coach when I was there. Yeah. Rosberg.
He's got to be around or something.
Yeah, but he's not going to help improve the defense. They don't have issues with time management, at least not right now.
This is a joke.
Yeah.
Everyone has time against them.
I don't see how you fix this going forward, fix it well enough for them to reach the goals that they had before the season started.
Yeah.
So and the way that things looked, I think this will be what I'm more interested in seeing the season is how the team responds the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Because I think that there are conversations that you wouldn't have expected before the season started, but there's conversations about Harbaugh and there's obviously the Zach Orr conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're looking at is like how the rest of the season goes is going to determine how the organization feels about making a big decision at the top. And maybe you do have to move on from somebody else in order to keep the head coach, but depending on how things go, something big's going to have to happen.
Do you think there's anything that's like innately wrong about John Harbaugh or Zach Orr, the way this team works versus just the reality that they had a bunch of their Pro Bowlers get hurt? Like, it's something that we could have anticipated outside of just the injuries?
And that's what they would say if they keep everyone. It's like, hey, it's a write-off year. It's injuries.
Right. No, I think that it's easy to justify keeping them. And I think that the odds are you end up keeping him. But I'm saying that at this point, what happens the rest of the way will probably have a huge impact on how things feel. Right. If they have 3-4 more games like this one, somebody going to have to go. Yes. So that's my point. And it's possible to have 3 or 4 more games like this one.
No, but what I'm asking, though, is this. Is there something we should have seen coming where even knowing that we could not have anticipated the injuries, is there something like innately wrong from the very start of the season when they were allowing 41 points to the Bills in that comeback? Like, was there something broken about this organization, about this team that is strictly beyond the injuries that would justify making that kind of change?
No, I mean, if it is, I couldn't see it. Yeah, I don't see anything right there. But I mean, sometimes reason and logic is not the motivating factor in these decisions. And I think that sounds like I'm being like critical because it is a way. It should not be the driving force, or reason and logic should be the driving force in decision making. But a lot of this stuff is about feelings and emotions. And if the rest of the season goes really bad, it's gonna feel really in that building, and that's a hard thing to ignore no matter who you are. And then the conversations start, and then people start interviewing Lamar, and depending on what he says to like this, that's how this stuff
Lamar's not gonna say
okay,
we know that from like that's like his whole ethos.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe not. I mean, like, I don't know, I thought today was weird. I thought that do you guys disagree?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that being in that situation is something that you can't really predict how people react.
Right. Yeah.
If they start getting their kicked all season long, I don't know what he would say or do, but I'm just saying.
You're right.
Yeah.
We have no.
The last time the Harbaugh job felt like it was in legitimate jeopardy, they benched Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson ripped off 6 wins in a row.
John Harbaugh repeatedly said, we're not putting Lamar Jackson in the lineup. Joe Flacco got hurt. He had no choice but to put Lamar Jackson in the lineup. And that happened to save his job in the process. So that, I think, is the tough part is like, is there some kind of major shift you can make? Obviously, I'm not benching Lamar. I'm not going to be stupid, but like, do they make changes on defense? Do they trade for someone? Do they try to make something and say, okay, like we have to do something different just to try to get a spark the way we did all those years ago when we were forced to put Lamar in the lineup and suddenly that transformed our season.
And last year, wasn't it like a part of the defensive evolution was about moving
Kyle Hamilton?
Yeah,
Kyle Hamilton,
Williams,
and I don't know what moved.
A little linebacker as well, but they made changes because the guys they had were not working. The problem is last year they were so healthy that they hadn't seen those guys on the bench and gave them opportunities to play, and they were good. This year, we're already seeing the guys who were the second and third stringers, and they sucked. That's the problem.
Honestly, like you guys have been like rational and logical, being like, yeah, they could win a lot of games. If Lamar comes back, they could be fine and rip off a ton. Honestly, I kind of think that this team is just not that good this year. Ooh. And Lamar can come back, and these teams are going to look at the schedule being like, this is one of the weakest defenses we're going to face. And you rip off that, you look at that entire list of easy games. I think a lot of those teams are being like, all right, this is our chance to play well on offense against them. This feels like, at best, the Bengals last year. Genuinely. That's what this defense feels like. And I feel like we have so much institutional respect for the Ravens that it is clouding the fact that this defense is performing like that Bengals defense last year. If you put those uniforms, if you flip the uniforms, you guys be like, nope, done, cooked, get them off my TV forever.
You say that as if it's a blind spot. Yeah. And I know you've asked me that question before.
Oh, it is a blind spot for us.
But does credibility mean nothing to you? Like, can you build up? No, like, do you know why we think that? Because it's been true. Like, it's as if I would tell you the truth 100 times in a row, and then you're going to just assume that I'm lying because he could be lying, but I've told you the truth 100 times in a row.
Has credibility ever been my strong suit?
Yes, Charlie is out cornerbacking the cornerback on this show. What happened a week ago? Out of my mind already. We are moving on. What I just saw is the only thing that matters, and it even doesn't matter that much. How I feel about next week is all that matters.
It's crazy. It's like he's saying, to be clear, he said it in a way that made it seem like it made sense. But what it actually was, hey, if we throw out all that institutional stability that we've seen for a while, aren't they just some bums?
If you put them in Bengals jerseys, you guys wouldn't be thinking this way.
But they aren't.
Same team, same coaches, same players.
But they aren't in Bengals jerseys, is the point. Like, the point is.
But the jerseys don't matter.
The jerseys don't matter, Charlie, but it's a different organization. You know I'm right.
I know you're right. What do you want me to do? Just have you guys be just like glazing the Ravens?
No, we're not. No, we don't need to.
We're 1-4. Let's glaze the Ravens some more. Like, what do you? Okay. Should we not have a balanced discussion?
Quality pivot. Now we seem like the crazy people.
The balance is either glazing or 2024 Bengals. No middle ground for Charlie.
I mean, did you guys watch that game today?
Oh, not the whole thing.
And they're 1-4.
Right.
It's my institutional memory, Bill, is just this year. All right, guys, get your hands up.
Throw them up. Stay in the DMV.
Good Hands plays presented by Allstate. The Commanders beat the Chargers 27-10 in Jaden Daniels' return. The Good Hands plays goes to Jaden Daniels. You're in good hands with Jaden Daniels. To Bill Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. You're in good hands with Bill.
He fumble in this
rocks.
game?
Dorrance Armstrong. You're in good hands with him.
Deebo
Samuel. You're in good hands with Deebo Samuel. My God, it felt good to be back. I was scared the first two drives. Jaden Daniels slipped. He wasn't wearing the right cleats. I thought it was a knee brace issue. It was not. And then the guy was just out there throwing darts, dominating this Chargers team. Did the Chargers offensive line completely collapse to the point that we were able to pressure them relentlessly and get the ball back over and over again? Yes. Was there a punt return where it got called back and they were going to go up 17-0? Did Quentin Johnson fumble? Did we have a lot of things go our way? Yes. But then we beat the brakes off that team. 27 unanswered. Jaden Daniels looked like the prince that was promised again. And Bill, the only question I have for this is, would you like to apologize to me for your guarantee that Jaden Daniels would regress this year?
Charlie, do you remember week one? Remember what happened after week one?
Of course.
We started, I think, the entire show, or at least maybe the same segment, by asking me to apologize after a B- Commanders performance against the New York Giants. What happened next? They got blown out by the Packers. Jaden Daniels got hurt. Terry McLaurin got hurt. You lost complete and utter faith in every part of the organization. Are you sure you want to go down that road again, Charlie? Are you sure you want to do that to yourself? You have stuck your finger in the socket and you're like, I still got 9 more fingers, baby.
Did you see the throw to Luke McCaffrey?
Do you remember how they got back on the field for that 50-yard throw after Luke McCaffrey?
Yes. Roughing the
They
punter.
went 3 and out inside their own 5-yard line, and then they roughed the hell out of the punter.
Don't rough the punter then. Have some discipline.
Oh, the discipline.
To be clear,
Don't hit the punter's plant leg.
to be clear, everyone here loves and respects Jaden Daniels and thinks that he's going to continue to be great. However, the one person who actually was concerned is not Bill. It was not me. It was Charlie texting me fearful texts at the beginning of that game that I suggest. This is exactly like the Ravens thing we just had, where it's like Charlie was like, Jay Daniels looks terrible. And I'm thinking, it's 2 drives, Charlie. Relax. He's shown us enough. He's going to be okay.
No, relax, Chief.
And then he plays his off the rest of the game, and then Charlie's popping in the text message. And like, you were the only one that was actually concerned and nervous about Jaden Daniels' performance.
That's because I care. And by the way, let's not forget about Bill.
Okay.
Not like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt for that guy rocks. I cannot believe that there were games where he's getting like 4 touches because he is absolutely electric with the ball out of the backfield. And it feels like we got our own little Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
How about that?
Oh my God.
How about that?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it was a compliment in disrespect at the same time, and also not accurate. You called him a little Jahmyr Gibbs. It's like,
He might be bigger than him.
I know, but I mean, you mean like a half.
Don't let us get our Gibbs, man.
Like a poor man's Gibbs.
Don't let Luke McCaffrey get hot either.
Oh gosh.
Dominique, you must have loved that moment of going directly from the Ladd punt return to that Luke McCaffrey 50-yard catch. You flipped over from some Riley Moss highlights. You were like, this is the football I love.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, the receivers are different in the corner.
It's true.
The one corner, soft spot. Receivers
Ethan Bonner?
Yeah, I mean, you got to start opposite the best corner in Denver to really get my heart. Because I've been.
Can I talk about the actual football that was played in this game as opposed to just Charlie Sands?
Sure.
I thought this was a really promising performance because the Commanders found stuff that worked as this game went along. Like their offense got significantly better as the game went along. Both their touchdowns, same concept. They were, I believe they were on the short side of the field. They were running into the boundary. And they would put all their guys on the other side of the field, and it'd be basically a really soft edge with Derwin James on the edge against John Bates, who's the best blocking tight end the Commanders have. And he would either move out of the way and get James out of the way, or he would block James. And it was a really short field, a really short boundary for Krosky-Merritt to go to for a touchdown. They hit it twice in this game, over and over again. They found stuff that worked repeatedly as this game went along. And that, I think, is the promising thing, because as I make comparisons between the 2024 Texans and 2025 Commanders every week, the 2024 Texans never found answers to their problems. They had the exact same mistakes and the exact same problems happening all year. If Cliff Kingsbury is going to find solutions to stuff when it's not working early against a really good defense, that to me is the most exciting and promising sign from this game. I already know Jaden Daniels is good.
What are your expectations at this point, Charlie, for this team?
A wild card berth?
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
Divisional round?
divisional round.
Here's the thing is, their weakness is the fact that they have maybe the slowest linebackers in football, and their secondary is terrible.
Yes.
And this was a game where the Commanders got
Pretty big
consistent pass
weaknesses.
rush against a Chargers offensive line that was banged up, had multiple starters out, had Trey Pipkins. I don't want to say point shaving because there were other players who I think were point shaving
No, that
more.
5-minute sequence was insane.
But like he had like wiped off like 225 plus yard completions in a row. When the Commanders can get pressure on the opposing quarterback, we get week 1 against the Giants. We get week 5 against the Chargers. They're going to look great on defense, and they can do enough on offense to win games. But we've seen when they can't get pressure, the secondary gets exposed, and that is to me still the biggest concern with this team.
I agree with that. I mean, that was in the Atlanta game last week, the linebackers looked so slow.
Bijan's pretty fast.
So you agree that they're going to regress? It sounds like.
No, I
Well,
guess that they're regressing from my projection from the conference championship game to the divisional round.
So do you owe Bill an apology?
No,
Yeah, I'm just
I
asking.
apologize for nothing.
I'm just asking. I get mad at me.
Fine, I'm sorry,
No.
Bill. I went too hard.
No.
Thank you.
I will wait. You'll
You
notice.
and your ilk.
You'll notice I did not come at you in the ensuing few weeks and do my Charlie, you owe me an apology. I'm going to save that for the moment you were down the lowest. When Jaden Daniels has hurt himself. By the way, did you notice like in this game, Tom Brady was giving a speech about like, oh, Jaden Daniels is learning how to protect himself right as he was doing like design quarterback runs and running into linebackers. I loved it. It was so great.
He did slide more, which Tom Brady took credit for. And they showed the hit. When they showed the hit against the Bills when he got his head bounced off the ground.
Oh, God.
And immediately after that, Jaden Daniels ran that design quarterback run and got hit 3 times. but he was better than that.
He was great. He was good in this game after the first couple drives. JCM was really good. Debo was really good.
Debo's awesome.
Debo, when Debo's on, is great. Like when Debo is not on, he's maybe he's the most frustrating player in football. But he was on today, and it felt like as that game wore on, the Chargers defense just was hopeless. They did not have answers for anything in this game. They were missing tackles after tackles. The Commanders were hitting third down after third down. It just felt like they could not get the ball back. And when they did, people of my ilk who love Justin Herbert are going to pretend that they didn't watch this game when they talk about how great he is.
I mean, the Justin Herbert throw on 4th down where he just rocketed the ball off of his tight end's hands from like 3 yards.
He hit him in the helmet.
Like that thing where it's like, yeah.
You don't have to have an ilk anymore.
No, that was tough. I did think that the best throw that Jaden Daniels had actually was one that wasn't caught. It was rolling to his right to Chris Moore in the back of the end zone, where he threw an absolute dot, escaping pressure, and it was sadly bounced off his hands. But no, Bill, yeah, you've graduated from your ilk. You have your own ilk now. I guess you always had your own ilk, but you just have your own thing.
You guys are the ilk. It's just us 3, and that's it.
It's true.
Nope, it's not. All the nerds community. It's your ilk.
I just think that you invented everyone.
that is true. That is true. You did. You opened the door, and then they all barged through. And when we don't like their takes, we blame you.
That's right.
Thanks for letting them in, Bill.
I hate it so much.
We're sorry, Bill. We'll
I get none of the credit and all the blame for the ilk.
Yep.
So I'm going to pivot to another game.
Please do.
The Colts obviously are playing a really bad Raiders team. They won 40-6. Do we now just think that the Colts are a really good team?
Haven't we always?
I mean, I haven't.
No.
That's the thing I should be apologizing for.
I mean,
Colts.
You can apologize to Domonique for that, not to me.
Well, I mean,
Jeff.
I think in Jeff Saturday, our beloved top Jeff.
Eat it, Darlington.
The Colts are. I mean, I thought highly of the Colts before the season started, and they're living up to it. They could have lost to. They probably should have lost to the Broncos, but they've been competitive. They've been blowing people out also, which I think is the part of the reason why they deserve a little bit more respect than just like they're a good team that's played some bad teams, because they're beating the hell out of the bad teams and they're competitive against the good teams. So yeah, I mean, I think the challenges will keep mounting for them, and we'll see if Daniel Jones can continue to perform at this level. I believe he can, but he's trying to work his way into the DACs. He's trying to become a DAC. And I think he's done statistically so far. We just need some longevity to get up into that category.
Charlie, what tier was Daniel Jones in before the season began?
Ooh, good question. Let's go back and check it out.
Oh, he was in the tier.
Oh my God. Okay. Cut it out. Just edit it all out.
Whole thing's not going in there. That was just a waste of 90 seconds.
That's just getting bleeped. Yeah. That's getting bleeped. He was with Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and Joe Flacco. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's
my bad. Hand up. I've got a lot of things wrong. That one might be the worst.
Here's how things are different when it comes to Daniel Jones. Week 1, when they blew out the Dolphins, we were all like, oh, maybe not Domonique, but we were all like, oh my God, the Colts, that was crazy. They're not going to do it again, but it's shocking if they could do that even for a week. And now, like, was anyone really shocked by how the Colts played in this game? Like, they're a better team than the Raiders. They played really well, I think, but that's not shocking anymore. They're a good team. They're a good offense, and they played like a good offense against a defense that has one good player and a quarterback who seems hell-bent on getting benched before the second half of the season begins.
There aren't a ton of blowouts in the NFL, and the teams are normally much closer than this. And we see it all the time where there are games where teams we think are much better end up winning by a little bit or losing to a team that's worse than them. Like, there's something to be said for beating a dog out of teams that are not on the same level as you. That gives you, it conveys a level of respect or seriousness that I think makes. Oh no, imbues a level of respect for us and them, and it conveys a level of disrespect for everyone around them. And I think it makes us believe in them a lot more as they continue to go. Like, just smashing people means something to me. It's not a win is a win. Like, get out of here with that win is a win nonsense. Beat the
You're
out
not
of somebody,
imbuing
please.
anything with a 3-point win over the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Not against the Raiders, no.
I feel like we're just scarred from the memories of Sam Darnold last year, and that's
Yeah.
holding us back on all this stuff with this Colts team. Where we were so excited about Sam Darnold coming down the stretch, and then the last 2 weeks with Minnesota when everything went to against the Lions and the first round of the playoffs.
That's what Dominique's point is, though, right? That Vikings team was like 9-1 in one-score games. The Colts, when they play one-score games, it's against good teams. They're blowing out bad football teams.
Right.
I think that's the difference between this year's Daniel Jones and last year's Sam Darnold.
Ironically, Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold are currently 1-2 in QBR in the NFL.
Balling.
MVPs.
All right, last topic. Which collapse was worse today? The Cardinals against the Titans or the Dolphins against the Panthers?
Nothing compares to that Cardinals. Like the Dolphins loss might be the worst loss of this season. That Cardinals loss, that was a generational. People who were at that game are going to remember it for 30 years. There were season ticket holders who are going to be on the drive home from that game saying, we're good. We need to stop doing this to ourselves. That, like, all the Cardinals fans I know tweeted that was the worst loss in the history of my fandom watching this team. And how could you argue against that based on what happened?
What was the word? I mean, the fumble, the long run. So they're about to go up 28 to 3.
27-6.
I was about to go and are steps away from the end zone when I guess you want to say that L'Jarius Sneed punched it out, but he didn't. L'Jarius Sneed ran him down and wanted to punch it out, but DeMarcado just threw it out the back of the end zone. He started celebrating before he crossed the goal line, fumbled it, and got another touchback.
And by the way, Sneed knew it immediately.
Yeah.
Sneed started pointing at the ref the second the ball left his hand.
And DeMarcado went down to his knees to celebrate and thank the Lord for a play that was not successful. And that, I mean,
you know how like when like I'm not an NFL cornerback, like when you catch an interception and you know it hits the ground, but you still kind of act like you caught it anyway. That's what the touchdown celebration was like. Maybe if I just keep celebrating, if I just don't look down, I'm not going to fall off the cliff. That's what that felt like to me.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. It is. I mean, we don't have to go through this again, but it's a thing that happens every so often in the NFL. It's not the same as last week when A.D. Mitchell like fumbled the ball where he's trying to like kind of celebrate. It's different. This is worse to me. Like, this is worse.
This was the celebration.
When you are intentionally dropping the ball, it's different. Like, I guess it doesn't really matter because it both cost you the game, but something about this just feels even more upsetting to me.
It's worse because like the Cardinals did not play on Sunday last week. I don't know if Mark DeMarcado was watching Red Zone on Sunday, but I guarantee you his coaches were like, did y'all see that? Donnie Mitchell play?
Yep.
Don't do that this week. A week after someone else did it, you can't be the second guy to do it. That is like being the second guy. Like the first guy who throws a punch doesn't get in trouble. The second guy, he is screwed. That you cannot do.
We haven't gotten to yet the point where, I mean, Cameron Ward, incredible talent, but he had a pass that was tipped and then intercepted in the red zone. And when the Cardinals are returning the interception, they fumbled the interception and kick it into the end zone. Ends up being a touchdown for the Titans. Like, it's only 4 minutes left. The Titans are done. You catch that and you go down. You're done. You catch it and you fumble it and maybe keep it in the field of play. Maybe you get a chance to stop them, or there enough time runs off that they can't actually come back. They did the most ridiculous thing is they kind of have to score right then, and you made it happen for them. It's sanity.
It's like two of the worst plays you will ever see a team make in the same quarter to set up a team that had been embarrassingly bad for the entire game. Tennessee was awful for the first 3 quarters of this game on offense. By the way, I know it's going to be lost in the shuffle. The Cardinals being hopeless on offense after they scored them 3 of their first 4 drives mattered a lot in this game. Kyler Murray had what Robert Mays, my friend at The Athletic, and I believe the worst intentional grounding I have ever seen. Like, he was getting pressured. He was just like, screw it. Just like, I'm going to toss this a yard away, There's nobody within 15 yards of him. It was incredible. They drove downfield in the second half. He took a snap off the face mask that turned into a fumble. This was an embarrassing performance, even beyond those 2 plays from the Cardinals.
So are we going to have the Kyler Murray convo?
What's the combo to have, man?
It's just not good.
See, that's he's very talented.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like it matters. Like, even if Kyler Murray was good, they still lost this game because of like 2 of the most insane plays you will ever see. Like, I don't like it.
It feels like the wrong time to have the Kyler Murray conversation. maybe after he has a particularly terrible game, not one where there's a fumble out the back of the end zone and an interception that turns to a touchdown for the intercepted team. Yeah.
But also, like, beat the Titans when you're going to go up 27-6.
I thought that we were going to have a conversation about Callahan being fired. Like, at the beginning of this game, they're down by multiple scores, and it's just like it's going to get out of hand. It's like, it's going to be this week. Okay. It's going to be this week.
If you're Brian Callahan and you win that game, you go back to your locker room. Can you even be like, okay, we can build on that with like a straight face? You can't like you can't pretend that like you guys did something to win that game. They had a couple nice drives, to be fair. Cam Ward had some nice throws. That stuff matters, I guess. But like
final drive was
you
really
were
nice.
handed 2 miracles of miracles to win this game. Like, you can't. It can almost hurt your credibility if you go into the locker room and like, yeah, that was a great performance, guys. Like, no, you got your whooped and you got luckier than any NFL team has gotten in recent memory. Incredible.
I hate to tell you this, Bill, but I guarantee you that's what he said. And I guarantee you that it landed on all the players and it felt real. It's like, I guarantee you, because I know if I was in there, I would be like, hey guys, a couple lucky breaks. But you know what we did? We didn't make the mistakes that they made. We found a way to win. We're getting better. Earlier.
They allowed
No. That's just one play, Bill. I'm telling you, we are getting better because earlier in the season, we made those mistakes. Now we're making them make those mistakes. So let's get back in on Wednesday and let's get to work. And we'll keep building on what we did right there, guys. Right? 1, 2, 3, Titans.
Ooh, you might have got me.
I would believe it. It's how it works when you're in there, man. You convince yourself all types of crazy stuff.
So are we not going to talk about the Panthers Dolphins at all?
Nope.
Just the fact that this is one of those games where we got the full Bryce Young experience. It's like a microcosm of his entire career, where he has 2 insane turnovers at the start of the game and then has some random magic after being on the verge of being benched midway through.
There are no players that Charlie loves to pick on more than the 2 small quarterbacks that we just talked about. Yep. Charlie is.
No, I actually prefer to pick on Tua.
That's fair, but the green room every week is Charlie like, so we're gonna have the Kyler conversation or no? Like every week we're gonna have it. Yeah,
I know I brought up Mike McDaniel as like the savior of the Eagles earlier on this show, but we're getting into like the Brandon Staley situation here, where it's like, you talk to everyone around the league, and this guy is such a smart, like, defensive mind, such a genius, and like his defense sucks every week, and you're kind of like, well, what's missing here? Mike McDaniel is universally regarded as like this great run game designer, really creative, really smart, and their run game is trash every single week. Like, at what point is it just like, maybe he's not actually that good at doing this stuff?
We're at that point.
Yeah.
You said at which point?
Now,
we're there. We're at that point.
I think we're all there.
And I mean, I think that it's also fair when you're head coach, you have to focus on a bunch of other things.
Sure.
So something's going to fall by the wayside. The problem is it feels like both things have fallen by the wayside. Like, this is not a particularly well-coached overall team or a team that seems particularly resilient. And it also is not a team that has figured out how to run the ball or have a consistent offense anymore. So, yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. But you're going to get a lot of money to coordinate somebody's offense.
He's going to be fine.
Congratulations.
He's going to be fine. Tua's going to be fine. Kyler's going to be fine. We are going to be fine. We are going to make it through. Yeah. I believe in us.
Wow.
He'll do a great episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out with Dan Soder. They're going to be awesome.
Man, Pablo. I hate Pablo.
I didn't know we could publicize our podcast on this show.
Oh, please knock yourself out. Feel free.
The Meeting Time Show featuring Lenny. It's the best football show. Check it out.
Awesome. Bill Barnwell, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks to all the great producers. Podville, I love you. This has been the Domonique Foxworth Show presented by Allstate. Throw your hands up, and we out.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.